Thank you. Mr. Bradshaw, I represent 156 sub-postmasters and mistresses, and one of whom is Shazia Saddiq, who sits to my left today. Do you accept that telling postmasters that they are the only one, and we have 49 clients who say that's what they were told, and telling sub-postmasters that they could be prosecuted or go to prison, and we have 61 clients who said that is how they were treated, that was pretty standard, that was pretty typical, wasn't it?
If people in the post office, investigators, have said that, that's completely wrong. I can categorically say I have never said that to people, that you're the only one.
Well, let's look at your behaviour, shall we? If I could ask to have a document put up on screen, it's the statement of Shazia Saddiq, which is WIT N022300100. Miss Saddiq was the sub-postmistress of 2 branches in Newcastle. She had to pay over £10,000 of shortfalls, which weren't due to be paid, but she did anyway. The Post Office demanded a further £20,000. She was then a victim of cyber fraud in relation to MoneyGram, and the Post Office wanted to recover nearly £34,000 from her after an audit. And the cyber fraud had also affected 11 other branches, but she wasn't told about that at the time. Do you recall that? She says, I have received threatening calls to my mobile phone and emails from Stephen Bradshaw and Brian Trotter. Mr. Bradshaw was a post office security officer and Mr. Trotter was a post office contracts manager. And what she says, that, and then she goes on to say, I've received particularly intimidating telephone calls from Stephen Bradshaw, who began calling me before I knew he worked for the post office. He didn't identify himself in his calls, he just made demands of me. Now, what I want to put to you is what you did. You would introduce yourself sometimes. You would say, where has the money gone? Why won't you talk to me? Why won't you meet me at the branch? I've got people who I want to defund the branch. She would find you aggressive and hang up on you, and you would call her back repeatedly, and you called her over 60 times during this period. Is that right? Do you recall that?
I wouldn't say that was completely accurate. The 2 audits, one took place on the 26th of October, one took place on the 27th of October. I called Mrs. Saddiq on the 4th of November and left a message. I always, on any phone call, always say who I am and leave my mobile number. I called again on the 8th because I hadn't received the call back. On the 10th of November, Mrs. Saddiq called me because I sent her an email later on with the words, our telephone conversation refers, and on that email, as I explained who it was. And it was about arranging a time or place as per what my contract was as a role to do an interview.
That's not true. You hounded her, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Well, then let's go to the next paragraph, shall we? Let's go to paragraph 84. Because this is what happened. On the 29th of November 2016 at 13:44, Stephen Bradshaw called me and I refused to speak to him because I didn't know who he was or who he worked for. In that telephone call, which was witnessed by my husband on loudspeaker, he called me a bitch, which I found extremely distressing. That's how you behave towards my client.
Completely untrue. I do not call anybody that type of name. And she did know who it was because she received an email from me on the 10th of November.
You have shown in your evidence today that you are prepared to be aggressive. You tell people in interviews to get up earlier. Other people have described you as very confrontational. This is the way you behaved, isn't it?
That's not correct, no.
Do you accept you behaved unprofessionally?
No.
Do you accept that it was part of the culture within the investigation team to intimidate and abuse sub-postmasters?
No. A phone call will be made to arrange an interview at a convenient time and date.